because of a flight delay. I missed my son's birthday. My husband, Daniel, deleted all the research papers from my computer. My son, Leo, smashed the toy I had stood in line for 3 hours to buy for him. Father and son both stormed out of the house. At that moment, I suddenly felt a wave of exhaustion. A stream of comments suddenly appeared before my eyes. In the end, it's still the female lead's fault. She promised these two possessive guys she'd be back on time, but was still half an hour late. People with no sense of security are bound to get angry. The female lead should just open the door and apologize to the two poor things. They even had the Polaroid ready to take a beautiful family photo. Ultimately, it's because the male lead cares too much about the female lead. The child inherited some of the male lead's genes. So the female lead just needs to be more patient and coax them. Just looking at the father and son's faces makes my heart melt. The big one and the little one both treat the female lead like their life. I'm so in love with this. Oh my God. My poor baby's eyes are all red. This is so heartbreaking. Baby, what color bag do you want? I'll come get you right away. Sob. I sighed softly and was about to walk to the door. The door suddenly opened. Daniel looked at me coldly. Since you love your work so much, let's get a divorce. Leo, who was standing at the door refusing to come in, also said with a blank expression, I hate you. I'm going with Dad. My breath caught in my throat, and a dull ache spread through my chest. Okay. Even after getting my affirmative answer, Daniel still seemed angry. He kicked away the luggage I had just dragged back and quickly took the elevator with Leo. He didn't even look back. I went into the room and started packing. Let me explain. This male lead really doesn't know how to talk. He just wanted the female lead to go out for a meal with them. Would it kill him to speak nicely? Hey, you can't blame the male lead for this. Think about it. He was abused by his alcoholic stepfather even in high school. He's only where he is today because of the female lead's salvation. So many people like the female lead. So it's normal for him to feel insecure and not dare to express himself. Don't worry, everyone. The female lead will definitely not leave. These are the two men she loves the most. Besides, if the female lead leaves, the male lead really can't live. The female lead should just go cook an 8-course meal right now and then make a few more calls to apologize. I packed my luggage while contacting my lawyer friend. I didn't pay any more attention to the comments. This was far from the first time Daniel and Leo had thrown a tantrum at me. The word divorce frequently appeared in our lives. They would deliberately not eat the meals I cooked for them after work and would pour out the milk I prepared for them before bed. Once, they even turned off my phone alarm, even though I had repeatedly emphasized that I had a very important surgery the next morning. When I found out, Daniel held Leo protectively in his arms. He's just a child. He just wants his mother's company on the weekend. I was in a hurry to get to the hospital and could only glare at Daniel. He doesn't know, but you do. My phone had a password lock, and Leo didn't even know all the numbers yet. When I got home from work that evening, all my luggage had been thrown outside the door. My clean clothes that should have been in the closet, the makeup on my dressing table, and the books in my study. Leo blocked the door, crying and yelling that I couldn't come in. He said I was the worst mother in the world and that he wanted Auntie Mia to be his mother. 6 surgeries in one day had left me exhausted. I squatted down in front of him and patiently coaxed him. Can you let Mommy in first? Mommy hasn't eaten much all day. Bang. Daniel slammed the door shut with a grim face. The password to the house had been changed. I couldn't get in. When my best friend came to pick me up, I was slumped pathetically in a messy pile of clothes. She pulled me up, exasperated, and yelled at the door. Plenty of people are lining up to be with our Olivia. Why should she put up with this from you? I'll arrange for 10 or 20 guys with good family backgrounds and successful careers for her right now. What a bunch of losers. That night, Daniel stood at my best friend's door, holding Leo. The winter in River City was a blizzard of wind and snow. The cold was bone-chilling. Daniel knelt before me, his eyes red, confessing his wrongdoing. Olivia, I'm sorry. I just love you too much. I don't know why I lose control in this life. Besides you, no one else can control or tolerate my temper. You know, as long as you coax me a little, I'm not angry anymore. Leo's little face was blue with cold. He stretched out his arms and rushed towards me. Mommy, hug me. Hug little Leo. Little Leo will never make mommy angry again. One was the person I had loved since high school. The other the child I had carried for 10 months and almost died giving birth to. No one knew them better than I did, so I chose to forgive them. But the good times didn't last. Daniel still threw tantrums whenever things didn't go his way. Sometimes a few words could coax him, and other times, like today, he would bring up divorce. As Leo grew older, his personality, temper, and way of doing things became more and more like his father's, and I grew more and more tired. This time, I really wanted a divorce. My things were everywhere in the house. The dishes in the kitchen, the teacups on the table, the photos on the wall. Every single thing was arranged by me personally. I didn't know where to start packing. It seemed like all the essentials were already in the suitcase I had with me. This time, I was going to a top hospital in Shanghai for a 1-month study program. I had finished everything at 3 this afternoon and rushed to the airport with my suitcase. I even fell down on the way, but a storm delayed the flight, and I arrived home half an hour later than the time I had promised to celebrate Leo's birthday. When I got home, Daniel was sitting on the sofa with a grim face, questioning me sharply. Why didn't you buy an earlier ticket? Didn't you check the weather at all? Do you not care about Leo at all? Do you not care about me at all? In your heart, are we less important than a bunch of strangers? Leo angrily snatched the toy from my hand and smashed it on the ground. Then he stomped on it repeatedly, each stomp like a blow to my heart. I hate mommy the most. You don't keep your promises. You're not on time. Bad mommy. Bad mommy. While waiting for the elevator, I opened my phone. I happened to see a post from Daniel's childhood friend, Mia. She was the Auntie Mia that Leo often mentioned, celebrating the little one's birthday. Leo, you have to be happy every day. You too. Daniel's exquisitely handsome profile appeared in the photo. Next to him, Leo, with cream on his nose, was feeding the person taking the picture with a spoon. One was smiling, one was playing, and one was capturing the moment. Compared to me, they looked more like a family of 3. Oh no, the female lead will definitely misunderstand. The male lead is just forcing a smile. His phone vibration is on full blast, just waiting for the female lead to come find him. Why does the female lead seem really angry? Don't break my heart, please. My Leo is still so young. He's just more sensitive than other kids. Mia is purely a plot device, a test for your relationship. No life is ever smooth sailing. Female lead, be rational. Exactly. Just go find them and apologize properly. This emotionally unavailable male lead loves you so much. He'll definitely forgive you. I tried calling Daniel, wanting to tell him that Leo had an interview for elementary school the next day. Divorce was a matter between adults. It shouldn't be used as a way to retaliate against each other by involving the child's education. But the call was hung up as soon as it connected. I tried again. Blocked. I called Leo's phone. The other end was a bit noisy. It seemed Mia wasn't the only one there. I'm telling you, Daniel, what's with you and Olivia this time? Aren't you afraid she'll divorce you? The other end was quiet for about 3 seconds. Daniel sneered, his tone dismissive. The threat of divorce works every time with Olivia. You know how hard she chased me in high school. All these years of marriage. Every time I'm unhappy, she desperately apologizes. She can't live without me. The room burst into laughter. I grew up with you. Why didn't I get you? Turns out being a simp really pays off in the end. Mia's tone was a little disdainful. I didn't expect Olivia to look so well behaved on the surface, but she's so forward in private. Of course. The way she chased Daniel back then was epic. She even dared to fight his stepfather. And when she was giving birth to Leo, the doctor advised her not to have the baby, but she insisted on having it for Daniel, saying she wanted to give him a home. Haha. I gripped my phone tightly to keep it from falling. So, all my tolerance and compromises were taken for granted in Daniel's eyes. So, he wasn't constantly fighting with me to assert his presence because of his insecurity. He was confident in his hold over me. He was sure I couldn't leave him. I was the simp he had firmly in his grasp. I temporarily rented an apartment on the other side of the city. It was fully furnished, perfect for someone like me who had suddenly decided on a divorce. The apartment complex was full of people, many of them recent graduates just starting their careers. I remember back in college, Daniel didn't like the cafeteria food. He would either skip meals or order all sorts of junk food. His stomach was already weak, and after half a year, he became even thinner. So I rented a small apartment nearby and cooked for him every day, trying new recipes. Medical school was demanding, and during finals, there was barely time to even nap. But I would still make him 3 meals a day and remind him to eat well. At that time, he would obediently eat everything. Later, he slowly started to imitate me and enter the kitchen, following online tutorials to make soup for me when I was overwhelmed with work. But since we got married, everything seemed to have changed. Daniel would casually waste the food I had painstakingly cooked and wouldn't allow me to prioritize anything over him. Maybe it's because I haven't been alone for a long time. I only now realize that a small one-bedroom apartment could be so clean and tidy, that I could have free time after work to do whatever I wanted, that I could choose what to eat, what to do, and what to read without considering anyone else's feelings. It was unfamiliar, but I enjoyed it. On the 3rd day after I moved out, a colleague saw me walking slowly to the garage and couldn't help but ask, "Not in a hurry to go home today? I used to see you running out without even changing your shoes." I smiled. "Yes, I can take my time from now on." My colleague nodded. "That's good. You already have a job that could kill you. If you have a bunch of things to deal with at home too, that's just a miserable existence." Yes, I had lived that miserable existence for 6 whole years. Now, I could finally be free. That night, I received a call from Leo. He was screaming on the other end. "Stupid mommy. Dumb mommy. Bad mommy. Why didn't you take me to the interview? Sophie already got her new school uniform. And I have nothing. I don't care. I don't care. You have to come back and take me to the interview right now." I was a little stunned. I remembered that after Daniel hung up on me that day, I had sent a message to his friend, asking him to remind Daniel to take our son to the elementary school interview. At the very least, there was a reminder of the month's most important events on the notice board by the entrance. He should have seen it. I called his friend's number. The other person stammered for a long time before finally telling me that Daniel hadn't been home for the past few days. I mentioned it to Daniel that day, but I don't know if he took it to heart. And it was Leo's birthday, so he wanted to go to Disneyland in Hong Kong. Daniel was hesitant, but Mia helped persuade him, so they went. I said, I see. Soon, the other end of the line was filled with advice, tinged with a hint of reprimand. "Olivia, it's not that I'm criticizing you, but work is work, and family is family. How could you not personally take your child to something as important as an elementary school interview? Even if Daniel blocked you, you should have double-checked. Leo is your child." I cut him off. He's also Daniel's child. I never believed that in this world, a child is solely the mother's responsibility. Leo's interview was written on the small blackboard by the entrance, visible every day. Why could I remember it? But Daniel, even after being reminded repeatedly, still couldn't. "No, Olivia, you weren't like this before. Daniel is just too invested in you, and he's not good with words. I'm telling you, don't fight with him. Come back and sort out Leo's schooling." I hung up the phone directly and blocked the number. If you have different values, don't sit at the same table. After all, in a world of crows, a swan is a sinner. Oh no. The female lead seems really angry. Actually, being a mother means you have to worry more. Our Daniel is still a child himself. How can he take good care of a child? Yeah, as long as the female lead is around, the male lead's intelligence drops. This is mainly because he relies on and trusts the female lead too much. I saw that he was staring at his phone the whole time in Hong Kong the other day. He only blocked her for one night. The male lead is just very awkward and sensitive. If the female lead doesn't go back and save him, he'll probably close himself off again. It's so heartbreaking. Is she going to abandon her husband and her son? How can you take a child's words seriously? The female lead is quite selfish. To be honest, are the people upstairs all men? Has no one felt sorry for the female lead so far? She has a career and dreams. Why should she revolve around these two idiots? Yes, why should I always revolve around him? The meaning of love shouldn't be salvation. It shouldn't be about me being useful to him. It should be about hoping the other person's vitality can flourish for a long time. About being together and wishing that this moment could last forever. On this journey, whether it's stormy or sunny, the two people walking side by sides should be able to illuminate each other and help each other grow. But Daniel, do you really want me to have vitality? In these past few years, there has hardly been a moment when I could see a future for us. 2 days later, in the emergency room, a rare torrential downpour in River City had led to a surge in car accidents. As soon as we had treated one wave of injured people, another call for an emergency rescue would come in. When I came out of the emergency room, the office was already in an uproar. I glanced over while cleaning the blood off myself. It was Daniel and his friends. Mia was in a wheelchair, and little Leo was standing beside her with a pout, nervously holding her hand. I'm warning you, you'd better treat her wound right now, or I'll call and file a complaint against you all immediately. Sir, I'm sorry, but you'll have to be seen in the order of your arrival. The nurse was dealing with Daniel while taking the blood pressure and temperature of a newly arrived patient. Don't give me that nonsense. My friend fell down the stairs and her knee is bleeding. I demand that you call the best doctor here immediately. Daniel interrupted her impatiently. Or I'll make you all pay. After graduating from college, Daniel had successfully ridden the wave of AI, thanks to the business opportunities and the city's policy support, and had become a prominent figure in the field of artificial intelligence. He had accumulated a considerable amount of wealth and connections. He certainly had the means to teach a lesson to a group of grassroots medical staff like us, who worked ourselves to the bone but had no background. I just never thought that he, who had also come from the bottom, would one day use his so-called privilege to oppress others. Dr. Hayes is here. A nurse was about to call for help when she saw me in the distance. The noisy group instantly fell silent. They all turned to look at me. Mia's initially calm expression suddenly twisted into one of extreme pain. Daniel glanced at me, his tone harsh. I demand that you treat Mia immediately. Aren't you the most dedicated doctor? The others exchanged a look, a little embarrassed. Sister, in law, we just finished dinner, and Mia fell when she missed a step on the stairs. The nurse rushed to my side. Dr. Hayes, this person's blood pressure and pulse are normal, but they want to cut the line. I carefully examined Mia's wound and explained to them responsibly. The emergency room has rules. Only critically ill patients can cut the line. Miss Chambers does not have chest pain, shortness of breath, or difficulty breathing, and her vital signs are stable. She does not meet the criteria. Olivia, is this really necessary? Mia looked up, her face full of grievance. I know you've always had a problem with me. Leo has been unhappy these past few days, and I've been the one keeping him company. Today, I was worried he would run into the street. That's why Miss Chambers, no matter why you are injured, it does not determine whether you can cut the line. Mommy, you're an old witch. You're always trying to hurt Auntie Mia. Leo appeared out of nowhere and slammed into me. I won't let anyone hurt my favorite Auntie Mia. I staggered back a few steps before regaining my balance. Leo, come back. We're going to another hospital. Daniel swept me up in his arms and turned to walk towards the hospital exit. You're not the only hospital here. I will file a complaint against every single one of you, including you. He gave me a cold look. Mia snuggled into Daniel's chest, her face coy. The sound of discussion rose and fell behind me. That seems to be Dr. Hayes' husband. How can he have no manners at all? Dr. Hayes seems so gentle and good-tempered. How could she have such bad taste and end up with someone like that? He seems to be illiterate and legally blind. I suspect Dr. Hayes was set up. That little kid is her son. Right. He's a piece of work too. I lowered my eyes and couldn't help but smile bitterly. My chest felt like it was being crushed by a giant stone. This was the choice I had stubbornly made back then. Now I was willing to pay the price for my choice. But I don't regret any of my decisions. What I need to reflect on is my own judgment and insight, not to doubt my own simple and pure sincerity and kindness. It's not me who's bad. It's Daniel. The stream of comments appeared again. The female lead is really blind. The male lead is just putting on a show for her. Can't she see that? He deliberately said he wanted a divorce so that the female lead wouldn't be embarrassed at the hospital because of him. I'm really going to cry for this kind of love full of misunderstandings. I hate it when the male and female leads don't communicate. Is it so hard for the female lead to apologize? The male lead would definitely come running back like a puppy and hug her and act cute. Olivia, can you think about the hardships the male lead suffered as a child? Have some pity for the male lead who can't speak his mind. This is giving me a heart attack. The female lead can't seriously think the male lead likes Mia. Right. As long as the female lead coaxes our Daniel a little, he won't even look at another woman. What kind of fake comments are these? I'm a VIP, not a dumbass. The male lead deserves a slap, and the commenters deserve a good beating. After a 36-hour shift, I finally had a weekend to sleep in. Maybe because I was so tired. I slept for a full 10 hours. I didn't even dream. And I certainly didn't think about the father and son. The phone on my bedside table suddenly started to vibrate. It was Daniel. He probably knew I had blocked him. So he used a new number. He sounded like he hadn't slept all night. His voice a little hoarse. Where did you put the stomach medicine? I frowned slightly. In the first cabinet to the left of the entrance. The sound of rummaging came from the other end. Half a minute later. I'm calling you because I can't find the medicine. Mia had some cold watermelon this morning and her stomach is upset. She's been staying here since she got injured. I said, and sincerely gave him a suggestion. When she's recovered, you two should tidy up the house together. That way, you'll know where everything is. There was silence on the other end for a few seconds. His voice a little stiff. I've already secured a new interview for Leo. To make up for your mistake. You're going with him the day after tomorrow. I glanced at the calendar and refused directly. I don't have time. These past few days, I had thought it through very clearly. With Daniel's current status, he didn't need to be at the company every day. Everything concerning Leo shouldn't be all my responsibility. Daniel also had a responsibility and an obligation. The only reason he refused to go was to repeatedly force me to prove the importance of him and his son through my choices. The other end of the line suddenly went silent, followed by a dial tone. I stared at my phone for a moment, then blocked the number again. 2 days later, Leo's number appeared on my phone screen. I answered, and a polite female voice came through. Hello, Leo's mother. I'm Leo's homeroom teacher. It's his first day of class today, and he seems to have forgotten his books. Would it be convenient for you to bring them to him? I only then remembered that the pre-elementary school class I had signed Leo up for had started today. It seemed Daniel had noticed the blackboard by the door after all. This pre-elementary school class was probably the most famous one in River City. I had even asked a college classmate to help me sign up. That day, I had taken Leo to get his books and had wrapped each one in a book cover. Except, I'm sorry, teacher, but could you please contact his father? His father and I are currently separated, so it might not be convenient for me to go back and get them. The other end was silent for a full 3 seconds. The teacher had probably never encountered this situation before, and her voice sounded a little awkward. Oh, is that so? The child didn't explain clearly. He just said his mother put them away and that he could always ask his mother to bring them before. I knew Leo's phone watch had the speaker on, so I explained to him word by word. Leo, your books are on the desk in the study. Call your father and ask him to bring them to you. From now on, if you forget anything, you have to tell your father. Mommy won't be going back to get things for you anymore. There was no response from the other end of the line. Just as I was about to hang up, I heard Leo's voice, thick with tears, resentful and wronged. If you won't bring them, then don't ever bring them. I'll have Auntie Mia bring them. I really can't watch this anymore. The female lead's temper is too stubborn. The male lead has already called her with a new number. Isn't that considered making peace? How far is she going to push him? And she blocked him. She deserves to be the one groveling in the end. If the male lead really runs off with the other woman, she'll have no tears left to cry. The child is innocent, even if Daniel is at fault. What does little Leo know? The female lead is too serious. Actually, the male lead had already decided to go to the interview with the female lead. He was even prepared to apologize. The female lead doesn't know anything. The father and son are so pitiful. Pitiful. I think that for every pitiful person, there's a detestable side. The day of Leo's interview, a colleague asked me out to dinner. Coincidentally, Mia was also at the same restaurant, celebrating Leo's acceptance. Leo stood before me, holding Mia's hand, his face full of resentment. Auntie Mia went to the interview with me today. You're an irresponsible mother. I don't want you to be my mother anymore. I will never forgive you. In the past, Leo's words would probably have made me reflect for a long time. But now, I looked at him calmly. Your father and I are getting a divorce. You can freely choose who you want to be your mother. You're going to be an elementary school student soon. You need to listen to your teachers. They'll be better at guiding your values than some people. Daniel was sitting not far away, close enough to hear our conversation. At this moment, his face was incredibly ugly. He shot up and walked towards me. Mia sneered, her expression mocking. Olivia, don't just talk about divorce without taking any action. Who are you trying to scare? Since you've decided to get a divorce, you might as well go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and register it. If you don't want a divorce, then stop trying to scare people. Do you think it's fun to mess with adults and children like this? Daniel abruptly stopped, his gaze fixed on my face. He seemed to be assessing my reaction. I smiled and took out the documents I had just printed today from my bag. It's not fun. I handed Daniel the divorce agreement prepared by my lawyer. This is the agreement my lawyer drafted. You can take a look. Leo will be in your custody. Pre-marital assets will be kept separate. And post-marital assets will be divided as they should be. If you have no objections, I'm free tomorrow afternoon. We can go straight to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The comments suddenly exploded. Female lead. Don't be serious. The male lead was actually trying to win you back just now. He even paid the bill for your table. Exactly. After this meal, he was going to take the little one to find you, and the family of 3 would have a happy reunion. I can't stand the female lead torturing the male lead like this. Female lead, just apologize right now and say you were joking. The male lead will definitely forgive you. If you kiss him, he'll even sweep you up onto the table right now. Don't get a divorce. Female lead, you're the male lead's life. He's just testing you right now. I swear this is the last time he'll mess with you like this. The last time. Why should I believe this is the last time? Why should I forgive him this last time? Now, I no longer cared whether Daniel was testing his importance in my heart or if he really wanted a divorce. I just wanted to resolve this matter as soon as possible. I didn't want to repeat the cycle of self-doubt and emotional exhaustion. It was meaningless. Daniel stared at the divorce agreement in his hand, his eyes filled with disbelief. Even Mia was so surprised she couldn't close her mouth. You dare. I nodded politely. If there's nothing else, please don't disturb my colleague and me while we're dining. And I wish you a pleasant meal as well. Leo pouted and pulled Daniel and Mia back to their seats. Don't mind Mommy. We'll change the password at home when we get back. And we'll never let her in again. You don't have to take a child's words too seriously. But it was true. I would never go back. Recently, Mia's social media feed has been very lively. She's either taking Leo to pre-elementary school classes or accompanying Daniel to various business dinners. Even at a dinner with the management of a top tech company, Daniel would indulge her and order her a plate of condensed milk buns. During this time, a mutual friend cautiously sent me a message. Did you and Daniel get a divorce? She sent me a chat log of a few employees at Daniel's company. Is the boss getting a new wife? Why is this Mia so arrogant? She said she's our future boss's wife. Shouldn't she be arrogant? Did she say that herself? Or did the boss say it? The secretary on the 29th floor saw them kissing in the office. Who needs to say anything? Seriously, I've never even met the boss's wife. And now she's his ex-wife. I heard from the new boss's wife that the ex-wife abandoned her husband and child. She's not worthy of the boss at all. Do you guys believe that? Only a fool would believe that. I quickly scanned the messages and replied, yes, we're divorced. Then I put down my phone. Half a month later, the hospital in Shanghai where I had done my exchange program announced job openings. My qualifications met all the requirements. I had originally graduated from the hospital's affiliated 8-year clinical program and had chosen to work in the up-and-coming city of River City for Daniel. Now, times had changed, and it was time for me to make new plans for myself. My doctoral supervisor somehow found out about my situation and sent me a message on the day I applied. You are my student, and I will support your choices at any time. If you have any difficulties, don't hesitate to tell me. Don't get stuck on any problem. I told you before, you have to find a way to solve the problem. For the next while, I was in a state of intense preparation for the exam. The next time I thought of Daniel was when I received a notification on my phone that the cooling off period for the divorce was about to end. A full 28 days. They say it only takes 21 days to form a habit. It turns out it's the same for breaking a habit. I no longer dreamed of the rebellious, looking teenager in a school uniform. I no longer often thought of the gas canister, gurgling and waving its little chubby hands in the crib. And I no longer woke up from my sleep crying, covering my face in a mess of tears. At the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, Daniel stood on the steps with an impatient look on his face. In the black car not far away, Mia and Leo were laughing together, waiting for him to finish the process quickly. They were wearing the latest trendy parent-child outfits, looking every bit like a family. That's good. Everyone was eager to move on. The moment I got the divorce certificate, Daniel gave me a disdainful look. It's a good thing we didn't tear up the marriage certificate back then. It would have been a hassle to get a divorce now. Indeed, we had gotten our marriage certificate when we were most in love. That day, Daniel held the certificate for a long time and suddenly suggested, "Olivia, let's tear up the marriage certificate. They say you can't get a divorce without a marriage certificate." Looking back now, I'm truly grateful. I nodded in agreement. Yes. He glared at me, then quickly walked towards the black car, as if spending another second with me would make him sick. Leo was on the car window, calling for his father. As if he hadn't seen me, Mia stared at the divorce certificate in Daniel's hand, the triumphant smile on her face unconcealed. I didn't pretend either. I had arranged for a farewell dinner with a few good colleagues. Yes, I had already received an offer from my dream hospital. I was about to become a workhorse at a bigger hospital. The pace at the Shanghai hospital was fast. During outpatient clinics, there was barely time to even go to the bathroom. On days with surgeries, you wished you could plug the patient's oxygen tube into your own nose. But the large number of patients and difficult surgeries gave me a lot of experience. Every time I snatched someone from the jaws of death, every time I received a heartfelt thank you from a patient and their family, I would be very happy. It was a very hard profession, but also a very fulfilling one. Maybe one day in the future, I will regret today's choice. But you have to live in the present. I will cook good food for myself, and I will change my sheets to fresh, fragrant ones. When I crave bubble tea, I will order one for myself. Before bed, I will read my favorite books. When I have time off, I will go to exhibitions. When I'm at work, I will do my best to cure every patient. I no longer have to worry about the papers on my computer being deleted. And I no longer have to worry about not taking care of someone's feelings. I don't live by others' opinions, and I don't compare myself to anyone. This me is very good. Daniel didn't make things difficult for me in terms of property division. It was enough for me to live a very good life. I rented a big apartment and even got a little Shiba Inu. Every day before work, I would take it for a walk in the neighborhood. When I got home from work, it would be waiting by the door, watching me come in with eager eyes. I posted videos of it on social media, and my newly created account quickly gained tens of thousands of followers. It was also a dog that could support itself. This peaceful and pleasant life lasted for a full 2 months. One night, a high school classmate I wasn't very familiar with suddenly contacted me. He told me that Daniel and Mia were getting married. I said, "Oh," and didn't reply further. The typing notification popped up and then disappeared, as if he wanted to say something else. I heard Daniel still has feelings for you. He's such an outstanding person. Why don't you try to win him back? As expected, something was off. I clicked on this classmate's social media feed and saw that it was all about artificial intelligence projects. He must have been in contact with Daniel recently. I replied with a smiley face. I have other things to do. I'm blocking you now. Now we both had our own lives. Whether Daniel was getting married, divorced, or having children, he didn't need to tell me. This unfamiliar classmate was probably being used as a messenger. Whether he genuinely wanted me to go back and win him back, or if he was trying to provoke me, I wouldn't let it get to me. During the October holiday, many people got married, but not Daniel and Mia. It was my sharp-tongued best friend. River City was still too small. A best friend's wedding, even which hotel the relatives and friends were staying at, would be known to those who cared to find out. Because I ran into Daniel at the hotel entrance. He had been standing downstairs all night. When he saw me come out, the disheveled man cautiously handed me a breakfast. Sticky rice. It was indeed a specialty from my hometown. You're usually busy with work, and your stomach isn't good. Eat something before you go pick up the bride. His voice trembled slightly, as if he had been greatly wronged. The comments section became lively again. Alright, alright. The male lead has gone this far. The female lead should be able to forgive him now. Right. Can't you people see the situation? The female lead is never going back. Who would give up a good life to come back and clean up a mess? But without the female lead, how can the male lead survive? If he can't survive, then he should just die. What's with all this nonsense? Exactly. He even brought her sticky rice. Even I remember the female lead doesn't like sticky rice, let alone someone with a weak stomach. Alright, let's end this. The male lead is so pitiful. Still waiting for the female lead to coax him. Does he even deserve it? I took 2 steps back, putting some distance between me and Daniel. The hotel buffet is very good. I'm full. His hand, holding the breakfast, stubbornly remained in mid-air, as if he wouldn't let me go if I didn't take it. I sighed and took the breakfast from his hand. Daniel, if your stomach is weak, you should eat less sticky rice, especially cold sticky rice. He was slightly stunned and stood there silently. My colleagues came out of the hotel and saw me. We had all played together last night and were somewhat familiar. Olivia, what's that in your hand? Sticky rice. I turned around. Yeah, do you want some? The person quickly came over. Perfect. I didn't have breakfast. Give it to me. Daniel watched the scene unfold, his mouth agape in disbelief. You used to. Even if you didn't like something, you would eat it as long as I gave it to you. So he knew all along. He knew I would eat things I didn't like just because he gave them to me. Not anymore. And never again. I looked him in the eye and said calmly, we're divorced. Daniel, if possible, I hope we have no contact, except for the transaction records on my bank card. I would pay child support for Leo on time. Daniel opened his mouth, trying to explain. I didn't say I wanted a divorce. I never wanted to divorce you. I couldn't help but interrupt him, not wanting to hear him go on. You went to the Civil Affairs Bureau twice. You went by yourself. No one forced you. Daniel blocked my way excitedly. No, Olivia. Listen to me. It was Mia who said this would scare you. You're always disobedient. You always leave me and Leo behind. I just want you to stay by my side. I want you to always look at me. No one and nothing can be more important than me. But without me, you wouldn't have this problem. You were happy too, weren't you? With every word I said, his head drooped a little lower. Leo likes Mia a lot. And you also arranged for Mia to join the company. She can accompany you two on trips with her full attention. Be on time, and never miss your birthdays. Most importantly, I've been very happy in the months since our divorce. Really, let's just end it here. After returning to Shanghai, Daniel would bring Leo to wait for me downstairs in my apartment complex every weekend. Sometimes I was at work. Sometimes I was walking my dog. At first, Leo would hold up his test paper and look at me pitifully. Mommy, I got a lot of questions wrong. The teacher said you should help me correct my mistakes. I glanced at him and sincerely advised Daniel, get a tutor. It's better than getting angry yourself. Later, he switched to other awards. Mommy, I won first place in the model airplane competition. Can you come to the finals with me? I shook my head. I don't know anything about that. You should have your father go with you. They came so often that some of my curious neighbors started to ask about our relationship. I told them directly. My ex-husband who initiated the divorce, and the son who supported my ex-husband in divorcing me. A few of the older ladies' faces instantly changed, and they started spewing a stream of Shanghai dialect that I couldn't understand. It sounded quite vulgar. The last time I saw Daniel was at the entrance of the apartment complex. Leo must have fallen when he got out of the car, and his knee was scraped. Daniel held him and looked at me with expectant eyes, thinking I would feel sorry for him and run over to comfort him like I used to. But I only glanced at them before getting into the taxi I had just hailed and rushing to the hospital. A scraped knee was not a big deal. It never was. Before closing the car door, I formally warned Daniel, if you bother me again, I can call the police. He desperately clung to the car door, his eyes bloodshot. Olivia, I love you. Can you just give me one more chance? It's all my fault. I'll never force you to make a choice again. I can't live without you. Can you? For the sake of the child, forgive me one last time. Olivia. I remembered a long time ago, when he had thrown all my things out the door. He had also confessed his wrongdoing with tears streaming down his face. The so-called love. The so-called can't live without. The so-called insecurity. It was just because he was used to my and care. It was his way of controlling me. Daniel, do you know what my favorite saying is? He who loses me has lost me forever. I looked him in the eye and said, word by word, let's end this relationship gracefully. Don't say another meaningless word. Don't make another unnecessary move. And don't be unwilling to accept the ending just because it's not what you wanted. Let me go. And let yourself go. The taxi slowly drove away. I rolled up the window, blocking out the sound of the wailing from outside. 2 years later, the next time I heard news of Daniel, it was that his company was being investigated for tax evasion. The amount involved was huge. I vaguely remembered that his company's accountant was Mia. My best friend forwarded me a video. This is going viral in River City. I have to let you see it. Smug face emoji. It was already summer in Shanghai. I was walking my little Shiba Inu and clicked on the video. The main characters were Daniel and Mia, the two people who had grown up together and were even supposed to get married. Now, in front of everyone, they were fighting. Damn you, Mia. I only believed you and used divorce to provoke her. You've already ruined my family. Now you're trying to ruin my company and send me to jail. I should have known better. Give me back my wife. Give me back my wife. Mia was in tears, with a clear slap mark on her face. I was doing it for your own good. I just wanted to help you make more money and stop you from being sad over that woman. But why can't you still let her go? Why? Am I not good to you? Leo is even willing to call me his mother. The little boy, who was mentioned, was hugging his school bag and crying even harder. I don't want you to be my mommy. My mommy is very smart and always gets 100 on her tests. But you can't even help me with my homework. Sob. You even yelled at my teacher. My teacher said she hates parents like you, so she doesn't like me either. Mia seemed to have gone mad, beating her chest. I swear to God, I was doing it for your own good. We're so rich. How can we let a teacher walk all over us? I just wanted to teach her a lesson and make her take good care of you. It's because I taught her a lesson that you can sit in the front row in class, and she reminds you to drink water and go to the bathroom. I couldn't help but shake my head and close the video. What had that teacher done to deserve this? My little Shiba, seeing me staring at my phone and not moving, tugged me forward. As far as the eye could see, there were countless gentle sunsets and evening breezes, and I had completely shed my old skin. Reborn. Welcome to the summer named after me.